Okay, so I'm looking at the defensive interior numbers at the top. First, I'll go over how I weighted them. Not too much on assists, the heavy weight on batted passes because I thought that was pretty important. Essentially, it's like a breakup pass. Forced fumbles, put a pretty high emphasis on that. zero point 0.6 hits, emphasis. Hurries, put an emphasis on that. Not a whole lot on interceptions. Missed tackles, I put a high emphasis on that. Pass breakups is low. Penalties, high. Sacks, not too high. Tackles, not zero point 0.3. TDs, not too high. Yards, not too high. Stops, I put a lot of emphasis on that because they're defensive interior. But I will the numbers and see what comes up. So at the top is T'Vondre Sweat out of Texas. No surprise that Texas has one of the best in terms of rushing defense. They had one of the best defenses in the league. T'Vondre Sweat is probably more of a run stopper than he was a pass rusher because he had 26 stops, 28 tackles. He had 6 batted passes, 3 hits, 26 hurries, 1 penalty, and only 2 sacks. If you look at Byron Murphy, his counterpart, he was more of the pass rusher. From the interior, he had 6 sacks, 21 stops, 15 tackles, 0 batted passes, 3 hits, 36 hurries. Behind T'Vondre Sweat was Jerzon Newton out of Illinois. He had 2 batted passes, 2 forced fumbles, 7 hits, 28 hurries, 3 penalties, 12 missed tackles, 8 sacks, 32 stops, 33 tackles. So this guy's probably just trying to get off the line as fast as possible. That's probably why he has so many penalties and missed tackles. Next is Brandon Dorlus out of Oregon. 6 batted passes, 7 hits, 35 hurries, 3 penalties, 4 sacks, 16 stops, 14 tackles. And not too far behind is Chris Jenkins out of Michigan. 18 hurries, 1 interception, 2 sacks, 26 stops, 30 tackles. So if we mess with the weighted grade a little bit, put less emphasis on stops, and Brandon Dorlus climbs to the top. So yeah, he doesn't have many stops or tackles, 4 sacks, 35 hurries, which is pretty close to Byron Murphy. So he's more of like a interior pass rusher opposed to a run stopper. Let's reduce tackles a little bit. Brandon Dorlus, Byron Murphy jump way up ahead. So if you want more of a pass rusher, Brandon Dorlus, Byron Murphy. T'Vondre Sweat's more of a run stopper. Jerzon Newton is a little bit of both. Tyler Davis out of Clemson kind of climbed. He had only 2 sacks, 18 hurries, only 1 missed tackle. Put more emphasis on hurries. Michael Hall at Ohio State had 22 hurries, 15 stops, 15 tackles. So yeah, let's put more emphasis on stops. You still have Byron Murphy at the top, Brandon Dorlus, Sweat, Newton. These are probably your top 4 defensive interior. You can include Chris Jenkins in there too if you want, and maybe Braden Fisk